afternoon, excuse me, and welcome to the 35th meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. Please silence all of your electronic devices, and if you're appearing today, please introduce yourself and your client and spell both of your names, please. And if you're testifying on any matter that is on the agenda, please come forward, be sworn in, identify yourself, and spell your last name for our commission reporter. Moving into the public hearing, agenda item number 1, transfer application number 19-15588 from HSK Investment Corporation. Please come forward here, sir.
Hi, my name is Song Cho, and owner of the HSK Investment Company. Yeah, I'm applicant for the liquor license.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ms. Sarai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, Commissioners?
Motion to approve transfer application number 19-15588.
Second.
Moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 1, transfer application number 19-15588 is approved. Thank you. Good luck. Calling agenda item number 2, application number 18-1333, 21, from Paisley Meadery, Inc.
Good afternoon, Chairman. The Commissioner Greg Nishioka appearing on behalf of the applicant. To my right is James Simpson, S-I-M-P-S-O-N, who's the president and director of the company.
Very good. Ms. Sarai?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This matter is before you pursuant to a request for consideration granted at the March 7th meeting. This application has received 1 written protest. In addition, there was 1 protest testifier at the January 3rd continued public hearing, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, summaries of the October 18th preliminary hearing testimony and the December 13th and January 3rd public hearing testimonies were provided to all commissioners prior to today's public hearing date.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Okay, just for the record, the letter of protest that I see is not signed. You would note that, kindly note that. Commissioners?
Mr. Simpson, so there was 3 requirements that we had asked for prior to coming into this public hearing, in which it was provided on March 25th. Couple questions.
Yes.
With regards to your personal history and affidavit, have you since updated it with us? I know you turned it in back in December 2017, but since then, is there any updates that you need to provide on your history and your affidavit?
May I see a copy real quick from my time?
Sure.
I'm sorry, we don't have a copy, but I don't believe so at this time.
Your last employment records show that you don't have any current employment. It was IT operations with Rivian Automotive?
Yes.
Okay, so what are you currently doing now for work?
I'm currently working 2 jobs, trying to keep the place afloat pending the outcome of this operation. I'm currently doing information technology work at Alakai Mechanical and a friend's company,
Okay.
Code Dojo.
And with regards to your,
Thank you.
you were asked to provide your personal bank records with regards to showing this hardship that,
Yes.
that you're claiming and stuff. Is this true and accurate that it's only 2 bank accounts?
I have one with $120 in it, but that one is one I don't touch.
Okay. And that is with, is it USAA?
That's with HMSA Credit Union.
Okay. I know that based on the records that you showed, it does show a financial hardship. However, you also show money being transferred out to another account that's not disclosed.
Which line item? To, yeah, the company account, there's some Venmo transfers. I was transferring money to the company. Yeah. I'm sorry, what's the date, the one you're looking at?
125, 131, and 201.
Yeah, that was me transferring money to the company account, I think to pay power.
Okay. So you have the company bank records are with USAA as well.
No, they are not.
That's where you're transferring it to. If you look at your bank statement, 125, you have another checking account with last 4
Oh, that one
digits.
got, oh, sorry. That one got closed. I ended up not wanting that one. They were charging me extra money a month for it.
Okay.
I remember transferring about 800 for power at some point. Yeah. Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm stating that is because majority of your payroll is being moved to that account,
Roger.
right?
Roger.
But since then, you've closed it.
Yes, I've closed that account.
And you're now retaining and using this account as your personal account.
That's correct.
Okay, so when we ask for personal bank records relative to this, it also includes those bank accounts as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that, you know what I mean, that we're basically going through the records, and it's not to tear apart your records or anything, but it's with full disclosure, assuming that you're providing what we're asking for.
Okay.
Which you're claiming the financial hardship in the situation. So, that's one. What else? I mean, just for the record too, I mean, unfortunately, we received these meeting materials just today, even though it was turned in on the Monday prior, it wasn't distributed to us in a timely fashion. So, as we're going through this now, also, what I'm also seeing is you have records of minutes that have been taken for special meetings with regards to how the corporation documentation, stock purchases, all these changes happening. And in your minutes, specifically for your minutes on December 10, 2017, your directors did a resolution and you claimed that there was quorum, and your quorum, the only person present was yourself. So with that,
He's the only director.
so you have no, what is your articles that include, what is quorum considered, one person?
I'll have to double check.
Yeah, I'm not sure that. We've never been provided that. But I believe it has always been one director. Prior to this, I believe it was Mr. Paisley. He was the sole director of the company. And I believe at one point, Mr. Paisley was not a director, but it was another person. But it's always been a single person directorship.
Okay, so how to initiate the removal and the appointing, what is your article stating on that? What is, and to represent quorum, it normally states you need 2 members, 3 members, or just self, or how?
Basically, if it was, and unfortunately, we did not, we didn't get involved in that point. But I think if it was standard, the bylaws and the articles of incorporation, Mr. Simpson would be removed as a director by the shareholders of the company, of which he held, I believe, almost over two-thirds of the shares anyway in the company. So I don't, because he had basically a supermajority of the company, I don't think that's, that's an issue as far as him removing himself involuntarily. He would have to be removed, he would remove himself voluntarily.
Right, so he resigned, which is probably allowable with
Right.
any position.
Right.
Which is a resignation that he did on the December 1st, 2017, right?
That was Mr. Paisley, right?
Right, so
Yeah.
he removed himself on
Right.
that time.
Right.
Which normally you can, as a board of directors, you can resign at any time normally.
Correct.
But it's the appointing then after that you have special minutes that you include in here
Right,
and documentation we requested for,
right.
and yet the only person present
For the director?
is Mr. Simpson.
But prior to that, there's I believe there's the minutes from the special meeting of shareholders where Mr. Simpson was appointed as to the board of directors. And at that point, the shareholders of the company, which would be Mr. Simpson, Mr. Paisley, and Mr. O'Hara, signed off on.
They signed up.
Yes. If you look at the the minutes of the special meeting of the shareholders of Paisley Meadery, which was held before the meeting of the
December
directors.
10th.
Yes. I mean, on these closely held corporations, that's how it's normally done. I mean, it's basically a paper thing.
And is Mr. O'Hara still a member of the board?
He's not a member of the board, he never was.
Okay, so he is a
Shareholder.
stockholder,
Shareholder,
shareholder?
yeah. He owns a minority position in the company, if I recall right. 1,800 shares.
Okay, so, and Mr. Simpson, so it's just Mr. Simpson and Mr. O'Hara
Correct.
as the members? or
As a shareholder.
Shareholders?
Correct.
Okay.
And also, as we were looking over the records from the DCCA, we did note that Mr. Paisley was still noted as the agent for the company, and we corrected that. I told Mr. Simpson to correct this immediately, which he did.
I see that.
And that documentation is noted in the materials provided to the commission.
Thank you for that.
Also, I believe at the initial public hearing, the landlord for the premises in which they are leasing did come and testify on behalf of the applicant.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
We have that.
I don't know if that was noted previously in the prior announcement.
Executive session. Motion to convene into executive session.
Second,
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, we are now in executive session. Okay, thank you, we are now back on the official record. Commissioners, do you have any further questions of the applicant?
no chair, but, I would like to make, some statements for the record. In this cover letter provided by Noko'e Liquor Licensing, the commission asked for financial records for Paisley Meadery Inc. to show a financial hardship, not necessarily just personal bank records relative to Mr. Simpson. I'll also state for the record that according to the documents provided by the applicant, Mr. Simpson was the sole director of Paisley Meadery Inc. on January 3rd, 2019, at the time that this commission found Paisley Meadery Inc. to have illegally manufactured and sold alcohol.
Any further statement?
Adding to Commissioner Min's comments. You know, this was brought before us to reconsider, and again, hardship clause was used. And I reviewed the records today, or within 15 minutes, and questioning you based on statements that are 2 months old, closed bank accounts, accounts that are not on here, money being transferred out. I think the request is very clear what we had expected to see. And, you know, you went through the trouble of getting the bank accounts, however, you weren't forthcoming as far as the rest of the bank accounts in which the money was being transferred out to. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate having to question you in this manner and hoping that we get a complete and full record and full understanding of what was expected from you. So I don't know where the confusion is or how this was put together. You had more than ample time to prepare it. In fact, based on, I remember in my recollection, Mr. Nishioka, you said you'd get us this within a week.
Yeah.
We got it the 25th, which is the morning of Monday morning, right?
Yes.
Like I said, thankfully we had 15 minutes to review this, and based on what we're reviewing, this isn't what we asked for. It's not in a complete record or form. And I don't think it was, I mean, based on, you know, I'm assuming to see full complete records. Not NSFs, not all that kind of stuff that you want to allude us to see, but where the money went. You transferred money out, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you're having this confused look on you, right? And I called you out on where the money was being transferred to.
The
Is that
company
not,
accounts are empty right now too, but
I mean, but is that not an account that was not disclosed?
I was relying on counsel that, legal counsel that perhaps wasn't as thorough as it may have been in what you guys wanted.
For the record, we're not the legal counsel. That's
Yeah.
Mr. Matsumoto, Robert Matsumoto. This is legal
That's
counsel.
Mr. Nishioka,
Okay.
that'll be enough.
No, I just want, yeah, just for the record.
Understood.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, so having said that and given those explanations, my motion is to deny, application number 18-13321.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 2, application number 18-13321 is denied. Moving on to license application. Special license application, calling agenda item number 3, application number 19-16251 from JCI Honolulu. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, thank you guys. My name is Tyler Hiranaka, representing JCI Honolulu. I believe our DBA is still Asian American Junior Chamber of Commerce for a special temporary liquor license for Noodle Festival this coming Saturday.
Thank you very much. Commissioners?
Just one question, Mr. Coronado.
Yes.
This is your second annual,
Second annual.
and then I believe was in the same location as the first annual.
No, first annual we shut down Awahi Street. And this year we were asked by Mr. Tracy to move it to the park.
Which
So
is a larger venue?
it's a much larger venue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And based on how it went last year,
Mhm.
based on your operations and stuff, how did everything go last year?
On our side, logistics went pretty smooth. We did a really good job making sure we have enough volunteers to staff the event. JCI Honolulu, Asian American Chamber of Commerce, we're a 1/3 partner for the festival. Our responsibility is to make sure the logistics on the day of and planning for our volunteer staff is set up adequately. So last year we had about 50-something volunteers. This year we have about 70-something. So we're looking pretty good.
Very good.
Mr. Hiranaka, I'm looking at your event plan. What are the circles here representing?
Oh, those are just like high top tables in the middle.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Thank you.
And then the rectangular ones in the middle, I think, are benches.
Okay.
Could you walk us through your security plan?
Yeah, so the park right now is enclosed 3/4 of the way around due to construction from Poula. We're gonna have a metal barricade going all the way around and only entrance on Side Street. I think the entrance is gonna be about 20 meters, and we'll have 2 security personnel, private security personnel, ensuring that nothing, no alcohol leaves the premises. Also, we will have 2 additional security staff within the park to make sure that things are okay. With regard to I'm not sure if this is part of the question, but with regard to keeping the 21 over-identified, we have bands that we'll be giving out to people ID'd. And we have, I think, about like 12 people that are assigned to deputy.
The security personnel who are within the event, are they wearing uniforms or something to show their security?
Yeah, one of my other sub-chair people had made sure to contract that out, and they will be identified with black security shirts and walkie-talkie. whatnot.
Okay, motion to approve, special license application number 19-16251.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 3, application number 19-16251 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See some of you on Saturday.
Calling agenda item number 4, preliminary hearing, application number 19-15619 from Ohana Enterprises LLC.
Good afternoon. My name is John Canales. John,
Please have a
J-O-H-N.
seat, please have a seat, thank you.
Canales, P-I-N-A-L-E-S.
My name is Carla Pinales.
Commissioners?
Mr. and Mrs. Canales, this is the old 49ers?
Yes,
Is it the
ma'am.
old 49ers? Okay. So I wanted to give you props out, great reviews. I've heard really, really good things about this place. I mean, the community has been excited and embraced you folks being there. The only concern that I had was specifically on page 2 on the investigator's report. You guys have an investigator's report?
Yes.
You do, okay. So page 2, how it has that exhibit B on the pass-through window. I took the liberty of finding out what this pass-through window is, and I know that the parking there was people get confused where to park, how to come in, and park on the street, walk in, and all that kinds of stuff. But I got a picture of the walk-through window, and I guess operationally, my question is, your business is the type to order at the counter and then call the number and they pick it up?
That is correct, for indoors and for the
And
alumni area.
that outdoor
For
area.
the pass-through window is, yes, that is correct.
With this pass-through area, which you have about what, like 8 or 10 tables out there?
There's gonna be 7 tables.
7
in
tables,
the alumni,
okay.
yes.
So with the pass-through table, the pass-through service to that patio area in which I'm assuming you want it, you're gonna license it as covered as
Yes,
licensed, okay. Is watching that area there, because you don't have an access to come out from the restaurant, you gotta go on the street around, yeah, to go
That is
to the
correct.
patio.
That is correct.
So the procedure would be you order inside, take your number, and then if you want a seat outside, you come around the Camp Highway, come back around to the tables outside.
You can also order from the window.
And, okay, from the window as
Yes,
well,
ma'am.
okay. The only thing is, like, I have a picture, and I'm gonna share this with my commissioners so that they know what my concern is that the pass-through is also open traffic from the parking lot over to the front of Camp Highway, yeah?
That's correct.
So the only concern that I have or suggestion is that, because you have no staff out there, you know, that is gonna be serving it or observing, it's hard to see if alcohol is leaving or if there's patrons coming in, or an unoccupied table in which alcohol beverages are still being left on the table. So that's something that has to be addressed as far as procedurally that I'm looking for, just to protect the outside passageway, because it's not an enclosed. It's not enclosed. It's not that you can only go to from the restaurant in. Normal places will have, you can only enter through the restaurant into this enclosed patio space, but because you have access both ways, you don't have to address it now, but prior to public hearing.
I
it's
can
something-
address it now if you
Oh,
like.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Our concern was the same, being that I am a 20-year veteran of the beer industry, so I do understand, you know, the ABC laws at least from California, because that's where we're from. But the lanai will not always be used.
Okay.
We will have a server in the lanai when we have the pay-per-views or we have a taco event out there. And then I do have securities for both entrances of the lanai. So, yes, but there's no alcohol that's gonna be allowed outside those stores
Okay.
per securities,
Very good.
which would be identified as securities also.
Okay, very good. Good explanation.
Okay.
And do you intend to have any glass outside in that patio area, like
have what?
glass bottles or glass cups outside?
Well, we're trying to see if we can get the aluminum bottles versus the glass for safety purposes.
That's what I was concerned about, because
and-
anything outside, and especially in a parking lot area or, you know, highly trafficked area, can cause safety issues.
All of that has come to my attention, you know, where I've been putting this plan together. And we do have, for when we do use it, we do have a, you know, a protocol to go by for the lanai.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
You're gonna have margaritas, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Gotta have that with the Mexican food, it's really good.
Those people that live in that Mililani area, they always get the combinations. Us windward, people that live on the windward side, we never get stuff like that.
Trust me, I go high and low for the best places, so it doesn't just limit Mililani, Wahiawa area, but I'm aware of all of the eateries there, so I'm very aware of who makes the best and where to go.
Thank you very much for those words of experience.
Good work, it's a shared for all licensees out there as well. Okay, so, motion to approve application number 19-15619.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 4, application number 19-15619 is approved. Please address the issues when you come back for the public hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is a request, agenda item number 9, request number 18-12152 from Cantina LLC. Competitor?
Good
Other side of town.
Good afternoon.
Daniel Kiley.
Okay, motion to approve request number 18-12152.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 5, request number 18-12152 is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 6, request number 18-13351 from TC Kahala LLC.
Good afternoon, Chairman O'Donnell, members of the commission. Newton Chu today as the agent for the licensee because our manager was unable to leave the store.
Thank you very much. This is a notification of change of members and managers and transfers of membership interest, Commissioner. Yeah.
Okay, motion to approve request number 18-13351.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 6, request number 18-13351 is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chu. Calling agenda item number 7, request number 19-16108 from Neil Gupta.
Good afternoon, members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of the Ripple of Smiles LLC. To my right is Tan Nguyen, owner of Applicant. I just would like to add for the record, I believe it's been about a little over a year and a half since the premise had an active liquor license.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Commissioner?
What was here before, Mr.
This
Cotto?
was the old Frankie Fresh and the Fat Greek on Wailai across from City Mill.
At the bottom of St. Louis Drive.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to approve request number 19-16108.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 7, request number 19-16108 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 8, request number 19-16243 from Mr. Devlin Nakoba.
Yes, Chair, due to a conflict, I'm going to have to excuse myself from this agenda.
So noted for the record. You may proceed, Mr. Nakoba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Devin Nikoba representing Gen Korean. To my immediate right is Mr. Chad Kabanle, who is the GM for Gen Korean Barbecue in Pearl Ridge. Just to the right of him is Chad Kabanle is C-A-B-A-N-L-E-T. Next to him is Mr. Conan Pike Rosa, P-A-I-K-R-O-S-A. He is the district manager for Gen Korean.
Thank you very much. Commissioner?
Mr. Nakoba, you're
Yes, ma'am.
back again.
Yes, I want to thank you very much for giving us the time to gather that information. I understand that it was very important to you and wanted to make sure that we provided that for you. I also have the list down of the documents that we would like to use. The matter is actually with Investigator Foster currently. The copies that you have are exactly what I dropped off for Investigator Foster.
It wasn't that hard, Mr. Nakoba. You provided names.
When you give them the right incentive, it always helps.
Well, Mr. Nakoba,
Yes,
do
Mr.
we
Chair.
have all of the players?
Yes, you do.
Did you gentlemen fly in from California?
Oh, no, these are the gentlemen that are working there.
Working here.
Yeah, in the local area. The 4 members are still mainland.
Okay.
Mr. Nakoba, there's a disclosure for a gentleman named Jose Manzaranes.
Yeah.
M-A-N-Z-A-N-A-R-E-Z, and it
Yes, sir.
indicates there has been a criminal conviction.
From what I understand, he indicated that it was a misdemeanor. It was not a felony.
It's described as a burglary offense. Do you know where this occurred?
I believe it was in California. I can find out for you and come back to you with that.
My understanding is most burglaries are felonies.
I can gather more information about that. I'm sorry, I have the exact information that you have.
So, Mr. Nakoba, you now understand why the request is that we need to have information,
I
that we
completely
will not
understand.
waive this type of request.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Very
From
good.
here on out, you toe the line.
So where is Jose on the, commissioners, where is he in the organization?
He is a non-voting member. He has-
Non-voting member?
Yes, he has 9% ownership. So he makes no, he and also Ms. Brown, they make no, actually, all 3. Mr. Kim, Mr. Don Kim, Lauren Wang, and Jose Gallardo.
Uh-huh.
They make absolutely no decisions day to day. They have no, they have no day-to-day operational things with Gen Korean.
Are they going to be employed or are they going to be working in the?
Absolutely not.
So
They
they
all
have
live
no
on the mainland.
management responsibilities?
None.
They
Absolutely
have-
none at all. You actually have the 2 managers right here.
Okay.
Commissioners, just for the record, can we hear from licensing supervisor as to the issue.
Supervising Investigator Daniel Sato.
Do you have an opinion on this matter?
Regarding documentation, we have all the PHAs as listed from Mr. Nakova, as well as the criminal history checks.
You see no issues with the documentation?
As far as the investigation goes, we haven't started yet, so it's too early to comment.
Too early? Okay, so, all right. Thank you, Mr. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sat. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Sat?
If I could just add something with
Yes.
respect to a status confirmation. In past applications, when that has come up, the applicant is always given the opportunity to cure.
Mhm. Yes, okay. And I see this is a request for reconsideration,
Yeah.
right? Okay, I just don't want people coming all the way up to the door and then we close the door on them.
Thank you.
We're wasting their time and we're wasting our time. So we have a responsibility to the general public and we're going to pursue that responsibility.
Ms. Harai, to clarify, we're making a decision as to the request for reconsideration, correct?
Yes, because previously the commission denied the request for waiver with respect to the 12 days per calendar quarter and to use documents currently on file with the new application in conjunction with the series of special license applications which they have not applied for.
Understood.
So an approval would simply let them go forward and they'll come back for in front of you for the specials for
Understood.
action on them.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, for, given that clarification, motion is to approve the request number 19-16243.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 8, request number 19-16243 is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Nakova.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 9, request number 19-16272 from Thomas J. Berger, Esquire, on behalf of Volume Services, Inc., DBA Center Plate. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Commission Chair, Commission members. Thomas Berger for the applicant. The general manager for the applicant, Davey Murayama, is traveling today. He's on the mainland. If it pleases the commission, we'd like to see if you folks would take it up today. If it's not a controversial, request. There's a rather, I guess you could describe it, archaic rule, and if you do a strict reading of the rule, it prohibits any dancing in a licensed premise. And the way the rule is defined, any movement of the body could qualify as dancing, in which case you need a dance floor. So, to kind of cover all bases, I mean, this being Aloha Stadium, and we have cheerleaders, and there's the band and everything, so we're asking for a waiver of the prohibition on dancing.
What triggered this request at this point in time?
Well, the investigator flagged it as a potential issue, so we wanted to just get clarification and have the issue waived with you folks.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Was a violation issued?
No.
No.
Not as to this
Not-
issue.
No, okay, just.
So this is a proactive measure
It's a
on your part.
Proactive, very good, very good. Can't dance when Bruno's playing?
It would be a
Can't even
lot, a
go.
lot of violations.
Can we go into executive session real fast?
Motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
It's been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
We are now in executive session. Okay, thank you. We are now back on the official record. Before I ask commissioners, just for the record, center plate only uses plastic, correct?
Yes, exactly.
No glass bottles, correct?
For serving, correct.
For serving, yeah, very good. With that being said, commissioners, do you have any further questions or a type of action?
Motion to approve, request number 19-16272.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 9, request number 19-16272 is approved. Good luck. Thank you. Commissioners?
Chair, motion for the adoption of decision and order for agenda items 10 through 14 inclusive.
Thank you. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The adoption of decision and orders, agenda items number 10 through 14 inclusive are approved. Let's go break into adjudication.
Good afternoon, Joy Neely, Deputy Corporation Counsel, appearing for the prosecution for today's adjudication items.
Thank you very much. Calling agenda item number 15, Pandora Cafe Karaoke Bar and Grill.
Keith Kiuchi is out of town this week and has requested a continuance to the next available date. I have no objection.
Motion to continue agenda item 15 to the next available date.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 15 is continued to the next available date. Calling agenda item number 16, Shinsu Te. Shinsu Te, am I pronouncing it correctly? No response.
Licensee was served on March 14th, and I was unable to contact them. I'd like to move for Keith's judgment.
Okay.
And this is for two charges, Ms. Neely. What is your recommendation for a fine for each charge?
For the first one, it's a first violation, $250. And for the second one, it's also a first violation, $350.
Motion to enter a default judgment against Shinshote for a total of $600.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 16, a default judgment in the amount of $600 is approved. Calling agenda item number 17, the Street Food Hall by Michael Mina / Burger. Please come on this side, sir. Thank you. Appreciate
Good
it.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the commission. I'm Michael Palmer, Palmer, General Manager of the Street Food Hall by Michael Mina.
Okay. So there are two charges. The first charge is on or about August 30th, 2018, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have an employee duly registered with the Liquor Commission as a manager or assistant manager of the premises on which he or she is employed, in active charge of the licensed premises in violation of Rule 382-38.98 of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Charge two, please, Ms. Neely.
On or about August 30th, 2018, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to conspicuously post and expose to view convenient for inspection its license on the licensed premises in violation of Section 28171 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes.
Mr. Palmer, how would you like to plead as to charge one?
Guilty.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 17, charge number 1, the guilty plea is accepted.
Ms. Neely, what is your recommendation for a fine for charge one?
This is a first violation. I recommend a fine of $500.
And Mr. Palmer, as to charge two, how would you like to plead?
Guilty.
Motion to accept the plea for charge two.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 17, the guilty plea is accepted for charge number 2.
Ms. Neely, your recommendation for charge two.
This is a first violation. I recommend a fine of $500.
Mr. Palmer, any comment?
No.
Okay. Have these two issues been remedied?
Yes, I was not the general manager at the time. The
Okay.
manager is no longer with the company, but they have since been resolved.
Thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fines of $500 for charge one and $500 for charge two for a total of $1,000.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 17, penalty of $1,000 is imposed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 18, Imua Lounge.
My name is Darylyn Thomas, Thomas.
Charge one, on or about August 22, 2018, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee permitted liquor of any kind, raw in bottle, glass, or other container to be open and readily consumable within the licensed premises before or after the hours established by the Liquor Commission, to wit, 2:15 a.m., in violation of Rule 382-3820B of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Charge two, please.
On or about August 22, 2018, at 02:15 in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have the street and/or primary entrances to the licensed premises unlocked during the time customers were on the premises, in violation of Rule 384-72.2 of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Ms. Thomas, how would you like to plead as to charge one?
Oh, guilty.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 18, excuse me, what was the plea?
She accepts the.
Accept, the plea is accepted.
And as to charge two, how would you like to plead? Guilty. Motion to accept the plea for charge two.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 18, charge number 2, the accepted plea is approved.
Ms. Neely, what are your recommendations for charges one and two?
For charge one, this is a first violation for adjudication purposes, so I recommend a fine of $650. And then for charge two, it's also a first violation for adjudication purposes, I recommend a fine of $500.
Ms. Thomas, any comment?
As because of what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a altercation that happened outside of the bar. So we were dealing with all of that. I brought everybody back in. I locked the door, told them finish, I was cleaning up. Liquor Commission came, knocked on the door, I opened it right away and explained to the situation, but like I said, I'm at fault regardless. I told them it really was only 2:05 on my thing. We would do our bar time 20 minutes ahead of time just to not have anything like this happen. So I am wrong, but there was reasonings.
Okay.
I didn't
And
want to
was the-
seem like I was trying to.
Was the police called to this altercation
I actually
that
had an
occurred
off-duty
outside?
cop in the vicinity, in my vicinity, so yes, they called, they handled it. We've been having the same problem with them. It's Yoga Stories, workers drinking after hours. So it's been an ongoing thing. It's probably stopped for like the last 6 months. They now have parking attendants and things on, but I've been dealing with this with them for like 4 years. So yes, but like I said, it was after, and I locked the doors because I had somebody I had somebody famous kind of in there, and then I had an off-duty cop, so I locked it was my fault. I locked the door.
What are you doing to prevent this from happening again if there is an altercation?
Well, like I said, we're dealing with it for years. Where my bar is located, it was up for sale, then not up for sale, then up for sale. So even getting people to help us with exterminations and parking people, and we just getting all of that settled now because of their problems within the property.
And the question then is, if you have a similar situation, it's getting close to 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's an altercation, what are you doing to prevent this from happening one more time?
Well, like I said, I was dealing with it for long. The only reason why I locked the doors this time is because it was still kind of heated outside. Cops were already on their way, but I didn't want my patrons to kind of come to our defense because I didn't want anybody to get in trouble.
I understand.
We don't.
I want to make sure it doesn't happen again as well.
I
so-
don't have security. I can't afford to have somebody there. We have at least 2 workers at all times, so no one's by themselves. But I'm sorry.
There are a lot of bars in that particular area that have serious issues. Stabbings, shooting.
I've been blessed. We've been there 8 years, and it's
very good. Be mindful
kind of a
of
different
that.
crowd, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, that's what I'm sorry.
Thank you for your explanation. Motion to approve the recommended fine for charge one of $650 and the recommended fine of, for charge two of $500 for a total of $1,150.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item 18, the recommended fine of $1,150, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is approved, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you for coming.
I'm sorry, when is that due by, or is it?
You'll be getting a letter.
Oh, okay, it's not today. Okay, thank you so much.
You have some time. Calling agenda item number 19, Kavaloa Tavern.
Jason Paz, P-A-Z.
The charges on or about August 30, 2018, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee had some form of music, dancing, and/or entertainment, including but not limited to electronic gaming devices, card playing, and table games, to wit, karaoke, Jenga game, shuffleboard table, and board games on the licensed premises without prior authorization or approval from the Liquor Commission in violation of Rule 382-47.1A of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Mr. Pass, how would you like to plead?
Not guilty.
Okay, so if this is gonna be a contested adjudication, we're gonna move you to the end of the agenda.
I would like to request a continuance.
Okay.
In order to prepare.
All right, so we'll, a motion to accept the not guilt, do we do that or?
No.
We're gonna move
Continue
it for the contested adjudication to a later
Next
date,
available.
okay? Is the next available date okay with you or?
Any day works
Date
for me.
certain, okay.
Madam Prosecutor?
Yes,
Next available?
next available.
Next
Thank you.
available. Okay, motion to continue agenda item 19, for a contested case, to the next available date.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 19 is continued to the next available.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 20, center plate, Mr. Bro.
Mr. Berger has requested that this violation be continued to consolidate it with another center plate violation that hasn't been charged, or is still waiting to be.
And
set.
you're asking for a continuance,
He wants a continuance to May 23rd. I have no objection.
May 23rd?
Motion to continue agenda item 20, center plate to May 23rd, 2019.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 23 is continued to May 23, 2019. Mr. Berger, for the record, if you want to make a statement.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Just-
yeah, Thomas Berger for center plate. That's fine.
He's on the next one too.
Oh, you don't know, oh, here we go,
21.
yeah, okay, now we got all the players up at the table. Calling agenda item number 21, center plate.
Request a continuance to May 23rd, 2019.
Motion to continue agenda item 21, center plate to May 23rd.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 21 is continued till May 23rd, 2019. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 22, Club Sundance.
Hi, my name is Julie Chantamano, manager at Club Sundance.
Can you please spell your
Yes,
name?
my
for the-
last name is CHANTHAVONG.
On or about August 15, 2018, and/or during the period from August 15, 2018 to August 31, 2018, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to submit the name of every person then employed on the licensed premises who is registered with the commission or who is subject to registration on the date and in such manner as directed by the commission in violation of Rule 382-38.8 of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
How would you like to plead? Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 22, the guilty plea is accepted.
Ms. Neely?
This is a first violation. I recommend a fine of $250.
Like to make any comment? And you folks have fixed this?
Yes. I was gone at the time, but when I came back, it was like think the last one was like, I think a few days late when I walked over here. Supposedly it was sent in, but you guys never received it. So I just walked it over here and dropped it off.
Came back and found new employees?
Basically.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was gone for a few months, so, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $250.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 22, the recommended fine of $350 is approved.
200.
200, excuse me.
Okay.
Let me correct that. Agenda item number 22, the recommended fine of $250 is approved.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 23, Sky Lounge. Oh,
Yeah.
like awful.
May the record reflect to my right is Yun In Chan O'Neill. She is the corporate officer. She is present with Counsel Wayne Luke. Regarding charge 23, we waive reading all the charges. This is a failure to submit an annual list. We plead no contest.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 23, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Neely,
I recommend a fine of $250.
Mr. Luke,
We have no objection. This was an internal matter between our accountant and her as to who should file it. That's our problem, but it's all done. The accountant will be doing that.
okay, thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $250.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 23, the recommended fine of $250 is approved. Calling agenda item number 24, Sky Lounge.
Again, Ms. Yun In Chong O'Neill, President is present with Counsel Wayne Luke. Waive reading on the charges, enter a plea no contest. This is an employee consuming liquor.
Motion to accept the no contest plea.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 24, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Neely,
This is the first violation. I recommend a fine of $500.
Mr. Luke,
Yes, in this particular case, our employee, in this case, failed to do two things. It was late and they were closing down, but they did not check out, employee did not check out on registration and did not close the front door. So it is a violation.
who is Yoon Im Chon O'Neill?
That's her.
Okay, so you are the licensee and also an employee?
Yeah, well, yes, in this case, she's considered an employee.
Okay, is she an owner of this business? Of
She
this-
is the owner, yes.
Okay, so ma'am, you're the owner. You are supposed to know the rules. Why are you drinking on your own premises? Does she know not to now?
She does, I talked to her, and actually, I talked to her into coming here,
Okay.
yeah.
I would remind your client that we have the authority to suspend or revoke a license.
This is the exact reason why she is here today, instead of me, getting a manager or somebody else to appear.
Okay.
How long has she owned the business?
This is 4 years, about 4 years.
Motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 25, the recommended fine of $500 is approved.
Was that item number 24?
24.
24, excuse me, Doug. Okay, agenda item number 24, the recommended fine of $500 is approved. Getting ahead of myself. Calling agenda item number 25, Sky Lounge.
Yun In Chong O'Neill,
Been a long day.
corporate office, yeah, I wish I was back in Reno. He's president with council, wait, look, Kendall couldn't make it today, so. That's all.
Easy.
Yeah,
Take a
no.
deep breath, Mr. Luke.
Yeah,
We're all
he had enough.
When the alarm goes off at 4 o'clock.
You have to come last week.
When the alarm goes off at 4 o'clock, it's a long day.
So, I'm sorry, Mr. Luke, your plea is, your,
No contest.
okay, motion to accept the no contest plea.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 25, correct?
Yes, sir.
No contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Neely, your recommendation.
I recommend a fine of $500.
Okay. Mr. Luke, so I'm looking at these, the previous agenda item, the previous charge, as well as this one. The previous one occurred on February 23rd, 2018, and this one occurred on August 15th, 2018, and it was for Ms. O'Neill.
Yes.
Yes, so Ms. O'Neill, you are the licensee and you are also the employee that is violating the law here.
You understand, you don't own it, so that's supposed to do.
Do you understand that you are not allowed to drink
Yeah.
on
I
your own
understand.
premises during business hours?
Yeah.
You do understand that?
Yeah,
Is it gonna keep happening?
It's not gonna happen again.
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna try to make sure it doesn't happen. My motion is, to issue a fine of $1,000.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 25, a penalty of $1,000 is imposed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 26, new green tea.
Again, this is a case Keith Kiuchi has, he's requested a continuance to next available, I have no objection.
Motion to continue agenda item 26, new green tea, to the next available date.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 26 is continued to the next available. Let's move on to number 27, legislative update. We have received Ms. Harai's communication. No questions. We'll move on to agenda item number 28, administrative, liquor administrative, no report, no questions, no administrative matters. Thank you for coming.